Good morning. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. So part one, new adventure, the Gosling quilt. I did show this quilt pattern that I purchased from Bec. Now Bec has a website, sewbehome.com, where you can buy the instructions and the templates. And she also has a bricks and mortar store in Newcastle, and she also has a YouTube channel. All of those details will be in the description below, plus a link to this actual quilt on her website. You can watch Bec talk about her Gosling quilt and the process of making it on her channel as well. So if you did want to do a little bit of research before you take the plunge, go and check out Bec's YouTube channel. And just have a look through her videos for the words Gosling quilt in the description, and you'll see a little bit of chitty chatty about the processes. So what are we up to? We have purchased it. We are ready to sort some fabrics. In the kit, you get your templates and you get the instructions. I must say the instructions are fantastic. Now, I have made quilts in the past on the sewing machine, but I've always had elements of hand stitching within it. And if you have a look at Bec's photos, you can see that she has added within the quilt embroideries, vintage doilies there. I knew there was a photo. See those little pieces are all little elements of vintage doilies. Now, I'm going to struggle, I think, to find doilies. A couple reasons. Doilies are getting scarce, and the colour scheme that I plan to do. So I've had a couple ideas to help me get this stitched element, something for me to slow stitch within the quilt, which is I guess what's drawn me to Bec's quilt. It's classic quilting, but it's also highlighting vintage fabrics, antique fabrics, and embroidery. So right up my alley. Now, where do we want to start today? I might start with my fabrics so that you can get a feel for my colour scheme. And then I'm going to talk about the embroidery elements, and yeah, pretty much this is an introduction. I'm not going to go through the construction of the quilt. You need to go and get the pattern. The pattern is only $25 and it comes with all the acrylics. There is a couple ways you can make the quilt. You can English paper piece it together using, the cardboard or the paper pieces. You can hand stitch it together. This gives you the lines and then your cutting edge, so then you can hand sew it together. That's the technique I'm going to use. Or you can then go to your sewing machine. Maybe I'll end up on the sewing machine. I've never hand pieced a quilt and it looks pretty epic. So maybe it will beat me and I will head to the sewing machine. We'll see. I think I'll be okay, but we'll see. So fabrics, let's have a little look at what I've got pulled aside in my stash. I have some scraps from French General and also luccello. So this will give you a bit of an idea of the colour scheme. Now, I'm not going to use all of these fabrics at the moment. When I see something that I think is within the realm of possibilities, I'm just putting it aside. And I've got myself a big fabric box here. Let me just show you that. Big box full of the fabrics ready to go. It's just somewhere to dump them. I don't want to go ahead and cut everything like a crazy lady. I want to enjoy the steps regularly. So instead of cutting everything, I want to create a panel at the time, I guess, without the pressure of knowing that it's all cut and I'll never ever get to it. So that's the theory anyway. Now I have a couple packs of fabric. Like I said, I don't know if I will use them. Milrose Cottage is in Belen, and this was a little pack of fabrics that they had put together that I picked up. And this one here, I believe I got from Gail's Patchwork Emporium, but yes, I did Antoinette, and it's part of the French General range. And that pretty much sums up what I'm going to do. I'm going to drift between the reds and the blues and the beiges. Pinky reds, raspberry reds. So that really is my colour scheme. But in addition, I've got some luccello fabrics. Now I'll just bring them out in one big bunch. These are some fabrics that I've been sitting on for a little while. Not all are luccello, like that's not, I don't think. That is, but this one isn't. I won't go hunting for names, but you can have a look at that one, because some of them I've just picked up when I've seen them on sale, because I just love that colour palette. So there's a pile of fabrics that are stripes and spots. I'd like to include a little bit of that type of design, so it's not just a floral wash. So at the moment, stripes and spot pile. Now, colour-wise, there's a lot of blue here and not much red. By sorting this out, it's really helped me to see where I potentially have some gaps. But I'm not going to panic at this stage, because maybe my florals are all the reds and my stripes and spots are all the blues. Just something to think about with a little pop of red. I can already see there's one here. There's another stripe, another stripe. So, you know, I think I've probably got enough stripes. But that's a little bit more of it. I might zoom up a little bit, because we're now getting a bit of a pile, so you can sort of see where we're heading with this. Now, florals. I started dividing them into two piles. Really heavy red florals, and here comes the pussycat. Hey, Fudgy. Really heavy red florals. That probably shouldn't be in that. And then some softer florals, which I seem to have a lot more of. These guys. And like I said, there's a mix of luccello. There's a mix of French General, and then some randoms. I'm just pulling a couple out because they're going to be features. Like that one is not a French General or hello pussycat. What do you call it? Oh my goodness, pussycat's just taken my attention away. This is a generic fabric. It's not part of this collection, but I like how it's got that little bit of blue in it. And I thought, well, you know, it's going to work. Soft florals. There's even a little bit of pink in there, which I thought could potentially work. And then I've got a little bit of a blue floral pile, but not a lot. Not going to panic, because I'm sure there's other blues around, but I do like the idea of going a little bit darker into these blues. See the pink? That's why I think I can bring a bit of pink in. It's going to be very interesting. So I pretty much got a soft background floral pile, a red heavy floral pile, and then some random blues. And then just to mix it up a little bit, see, there's more blues. Like, need not panic. I've got plenty of fabric. It's okay. I've been collecting to do this quilt for some time. Now, if you're familiar with the Gosling quilt, you will know that the hexagon is a fantastic spot to do a feature fabric. All right, so there's one here, there's one there, there's one there, and then I guess if you didn't want to do the star, you could put one in the center there. But there's just opportunities to feature something. So let's talk feature fabrics. I found these at my local patchwork shop, Dewdrop Inn at Harvey Bay. These are toiles, but not antique, new. And I really want to have that toile feel within the quilt as well. So that one there, I've already used a bit of this one on my Just Because quilt, that one there. So if I grab that hexagon template, this is what I just love about this pattern, is this is my auditioner. Look at that. Done. There's one hexagon ready to go, and there's heaps in the pattern. So hexagons, I guess the feature hexagon is going to be where I start each time I pick this quilt up. I don't know if that's the right way to go, but for me, I feel like if I have that as my image, I can then piece around the additional fabrics to suit this. So that's how I'm going to tackle it. If you think there's a better way to tackle it, let me know, but I'm not going to go and cut everything. I'm going to feel like doing some Gosling quilt. I want to go meandering through my fabrics and take my hexagon on a journey and make my selection. So that's how I plan to do it. Don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to put those feature fabrics. I'm going to fold it as I go because I don't want to mess, guys. So I'm a bit tidy freaky. So even fabrics like this guy, you open it up and this might become a feature fabric. Look at those poppies. Isn't that just gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. So that's the plan of attack. Now, in addition, these are all new fabrics. In addition, I have a small collection of vintage and antique fabrics. Some I picked up myself when I went to France on a textile tour, and some I've bought from online sellers. So let me just, I'm going to get rid of the spots a little bit. I need to create a hole in the middle so you can see my color palette. And then what I want to do is go through a little pile of antique fabrics, and anything in here that does not work with the colors, it's out. So little pieces will be handy because they'll just be maybe, where's a triangle? Might be just one of those. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. So you can stay. You can stay. That yellow might bug me, but we're going to let you stay. Some of these are old Sanderson fabrics. Oh, where's the hexagon? Oh, beautiful. Oh, you're out. You're just not right. You're jarring. That's a whole nother quilt palette. Oh, beautiful. You can stay. You're out. Too blue. I want to keep it that softer, dirtier blue. You're out. You're out. You're out. There's orange in that. Yeah, no, you're out. It's so easy to drift into something that's not, you can stay. See, maybe even there's a diamond. Nope. Oh, there we go. There's a diamond. So you can stay. You're going into the box for now. I've been using Bec's little box that she sent the whole kit in as my little pop it in there for a rainy day. So I have found myself a tin. See, I think I could get you in. I don't mind a little bit of green, and when you look at some of these French Generals, there is that olivey green. So I'm going to leave you in. Oh, look at you, aren't you unusual? See, little birds would be great. So you can stay. Oh, gorgeous. Look at that. I think they call that bark cloth, don't they? You can stay. It's orange. Yeah, no. You might get away with you, but I'll leave him out for now, and you. And you. Oh, you can come in. and you. So just a quick little sort through those fabrics. So I've got a few, not a lot, but I know I've got my French fabrics yet, and I've probably got more meterage of those, so they've got potential more so than these little bits, but they work. There's still a little bit of orange popping up around the place. Gosh, I've got to stay focused. If I start bringing in too much orange, then it's a whole different colour palette. See, even this one is, it's not right, is it? This is, yep, it's out. Probably could get away with it. Bring it back. See, I think what I'm drawn to is this rose. So let's grab a template and see if there's something. No. Look, I'm going to take it out. That'd be, it's this green, I think is the problem. It's too green, and we've got yellow over there. No, it's out. Out, 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 out. All right, let's keep it. See that to me, see that background? That works. All right. Now, in addition, I'm just making a little bit of room for myself here. So we've got some vintage fabrics building. That's the challenge. I've also got some toile here, and I love it because two reasons. It's black, and I don't mind a little bit of black popping in through quilts. It just, I don't know, I always sort of like a little bit. It has some seams, so I can get the big hexagon. Where is she? The big hexagon will work. In addition, with this whole royalty around the place, we've got some opportunities. No, maybe not. That would work, but we'd need to find a boat somewhere else. There's some little floral elements which will work. These will be gorgeous to put in around my piece. Look, another hexagon shape there. Oh, I love these, Bec. I love how I can use them to, you know, make sure that a piece of fabric is going to be usable. So I've got a bit of black toile. I do have some other toiles in the cupboard, but none of the colours work. There is a goldy coloured one, but it's very messy. It's a modern fabric. Well, it's probably from the 80s, but it just doesn't quite, yeah, doesn't quite do it for me. So those are the toiles. So that's why I'm thinking some more modern toiles will be what I'll be on the lookout for. Right, I think that's fabric. So what I'm going to do is pop these back into my big bag. Now the next thing I need to have a think about are these additional embroidered featured elements. So the old doily. Now if I find doilies that are reds and blues, great, they might make it in, but boy, there's a lot of reds and blues out there, and usually doilies aren't that tone. They're brighter, they're more primary colours. Maybe some creamy elements, I don't know. I just think the pressure of finding it might be a little bit laborious. So I've had another idea. What I'm going to do is create some lace elements. So for example, I have a piece of calico here. Here's my template. So what I would do is grab myself my friction pen, which is not handy. Where's my friction pen? I've actually got heaps of them kicking around. Okay, I might have to just jump up, have a little look further afoot. Here we go. I knew there was one. So what the plan is I'm going to have a go at creating my own decorative pieces. So I'm just going to go around this template. This is not ready to cut, stitch or anything like that. This is purely to create an element that I can use in the quilt. So this is why I've got this little strip. just going to draw myself some shapes. Went around my finger then. So sizing only is what I'm looking at here, because I need to stitch them, hand sew them in preparation. And I've got a bit of a road trip coming up. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take some hand sewing with me. And this little snippet roll of morsels that I can use for this quilt will be ready for me just to cut into. So, right, that'll do for now. Get ahead of ourselves. There's triangles and all sorts. I don't even know the official names of some of these things. It's like going back to school, isn't it? So this is just the first piece of fabric that I've picked. And what I've thought is, where have I been cutting into it? Don't go and cut a new hole, girl. Right side. So this has come from a blouse from the thrift store. So what I'm thinking is that. So some little pins to hold you there. Now, when I start thinking about laces, I've got some antique laces I found in France. I've got doilies that have white work on them. I might just redirect that a little bit, because that flower is going to get lost in a seam anyway, but you know, let's try and get a little bit of it. So remember, there will be a seam. This is the outer edge that I'll trim it off, but that's the true size once it's stitched in, that internal shape. You could probably draw both. You know, if you really wanted to, you could probably draw that as well. But I know a 1/4 of an inch seam at a glance now. So I think I'd be pretty comfortable that I'd be okay. So there she is pinned. Scissors. Oh my goodness, talk about organised. This is because this idea happened while I was grabbing the fabrics. I was thinking about all the doilies out there that I'll never ever find to suit this quilt, which means this will slow the quilt down, because I'll be on the hunt for doilies that probably don't even exist. If I come across some, wow, wacky do. But I'm thinking I'm just going to take the pressure off myself and not worry about it, because, yeah, like I said, I don't want to slow the quilt down. So this little element will need to be stitched, heavily stitched, so invisible stitched into position. So here's another one. Same piece. Is it the right way? Same piece of lace. Yes, it is. But it's going to look completely different, because now it's in a little hexagon. So that's the little morsel. So that's the plan, to get myself some lacy bits. Lacy blocks, we'll call them. Yeah, there we go. There's a new name. Some lacy blocks. All right, so let's cut you out. Yeah, the more I think about some of the tablecloths that I've got, I'd say I'll be able to find plenty of bits and pieces to create my lacy blocks. All right. I've got one more idea too that will help me get myself some lacy bits or some embroidered bits. I've really got to double check this. I honestly think I'm putting it down the wrong way. I will check that before we get carried away with stitching. Just popping some little pins. So well, my theory is this piece of calico will be the backing. It's not too heavy, it's a fairly lightweight calico. Torn down to the size I need to hold these outlines, and can be rolled up, taken wherever. I guess it's all about making this a little bit travel friendly too. Now, I think my design probably doesn't suit that. We'll have a little look, but I like how the block is really full of lace. And I have a feeling that if I use that guy, yeah, it's not enough. Let's have a look at the border. That's marginally better, but these little flowers that are over here are going to be lost unless I can jiggle it so that they're in. That's not bad. Get it centered. Look, we'll give it a go. What have we got to lose? It's just getting the... Am I in camera? Yeah. I want to see those little flowers there. That's pretty good. Let's do it. If we use it, we use it. If we don't, it'll be an element I'm sure will pop up somewhere in the future. So if you're new to slow stitch, my technique I'd use here is invisible basting, invisible stitch. So a tiny little stitch on the surface that you would never see, and a big stitch underneath if I need to sort of move around. That would get it connected to the fabric, and then I'll come back through and really stitch each one of these little lacy pieces, because I don't want it puckering, I don't want it stretching, so it needs to be really secure. There's netting here, so I'll need to put some stitches through here, maybe some seed stitch, be something along those lines, but this is just to pin it into position. I will then baste it down. So that little piece there would make a great little triangle. Whether the triangle's the right size, we'll have a little look. So I feel confident now I could probably go to my lacy bits and see what I can find to create some lacy blocks. Okay, let's just have a look at the triangle. Is there an opportunity on that hemline? Okay, let's get you drawn in. So the panel, what am I trying to say? The construction of the quilt, these aren't in every section. They're just scattered around the place. So don't think you've got to create, 200 of this style of block. These are just a small element of the whole thing. That's what I love about this quilt. I might come up with another brainwave between here and 2056 when I get the quilt finished. So there's no pressure. Just not quite. I think I can get one there. I like this little flower. I can't see my lines, so once again I'm going to use, yeah, there's just not enough there. I waste too much, so I'm going to leave it at that. So there's the start of my lacy blocks. As I find more bits and bobs, I can just come to this piece and yeah, ready to stitch. One thing I will say is I've noticed on this fabric there's seeds. This is a seeded homespun. I don't know. I don't know if I want those little stainy, seedy bits. Sometimes they can leave a mark when you wash. So I'd have a stain under it. You know what, guys? I might go find myself a bit better quality base fabric. I'm just not, yeah, no. This is a thrifted piece. It's all right if there was a fabric going down and it goes into a journal, but this is going into something that will be laundered. So when I get off camera, I'm going to find myself a little bit better fabric. I might even have a look at an Osmoberg, or I don't know. There'll be something in the stash that I can find to create my roll for this particular project. So that's one thing. Now, in addition, because we've got a bit of a doily issue, I found this in amongst my French General was these two panels. Now, if you remember, I did the Henrik the Hare, where I hand stitched little bits and pieces to use on Henrik's body. Let me grab it. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, this is Henrik the Hare. Say hi, Henrik. And see all these pieces? They were part of this panel from French General that I embroidered and beaded and used as patches on Mr. Henrik. So all of those pieces have been nibbled up and put all over the place. So he's been patched within an inch of his life. In addition, I created patches. So this was just a piece of fabric that I drew a design on that mirrored similar sort of style. So I thought, you know, if I can't find doilies, we can create the doilies. So the plan is to, first of all, stitch these. I've got a tin here that's making a noise. These are the last two pieces of that panel. So we've got a bonjour and we've got a merci. So I've put a little bit of fabric behind to stabilize it. Now, don't ask me what the name of this stuff is. I bought it at a class I did with Jennifer at Kim's patchwork shop. Kim's, oh gosh, I can never remember that name. I don't go there regularly, so it's just not on the tip of my tongue. Jennifer, if you're watching, what is the name of this? Jennifer uses it quite regularly underneath her embroidery. This is Jennifer Clouston that I'm talking about. So if you are watching this video, just let us know what it is. It's an iron-on product, I believe. I'm not sure. What it's going to do is stabilize this embroidery. So I started just tacking down everything. I think it's iron-on. Yeah, I believe so. And I've got it around the wrong way. So let's just take that stitching out. Pretty sure it's iron-on. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. I was doing this first thing this morning when I was pulling out, you know, potential little things I could take with me on a road trip. And I just felt like I wanted to put something stabilizing underneath it. I'm going to put shiny side up because I have a feeling it's iron-on. I'll give it a bit of a test anyway. And then I can put this in a hoop, so I won't need to tack it down. I shall investigate further. But the point of the whole thing, as I'm yibby-yabbering away, is once again, bring in our shapes. I think that has potential. Bonjour definitely won't make it because it's bigger. And if that takes too much away, just focus on some of these. See what I mean? So what I would do is, using my friction pen, once again, do a little line. So when I sit down to embroider this, I know exactly what will be nibbled out of this panel to be added to my pile of elements. Have we got any other shapes? We do have that shape. No, I'm just going to stay with these few. Bit of continuity, as they say. This is so much fun, guys. These little flowers are bugging me. Oh, that's better. I get leaves, I get flowers. Get that line there, but maybe I'll go that way. Maybe I'll forget about you and just capture you. Really like these flowers. I wonder if this washes out. No, we'll leave it at that, because I think the flowers will be elsewhere. So when I glance at it, I'll know that that cut off flower down there on the bottom of it is elsewhere. So it sort of makes sense. Like, see it here in its entirety. It'll make sense if a bit of that's missing and just peeking through. Like that there. The good thing about these templates is you can fiddle around with it till you get something you like. Oh, that's pretty. But then do I lose? Where's my hexagons? That's cute. Might take it as a hexagon. So instead of stitching this whole piece, I'll just stitch what's inside my marked lines, which will save time. I really want to capture those flowers. Why is this being so hard? At the sacrifice of that flower. It's a real challenge, isn't it? I think I need to just sacrifice. I really like that, not so fussed on that. So I'm thinking, if I do some little French knots there and then do some French knots elsewhere, I think that will not be as obvious. Who knows? Let's just mark it up. I don't know if a diamond is elongated. Those of you who know this quilt pattern, Just having a look. Where the hang do you stick this? Oh, it's a box. Oh yeah, we can do that. Oh, that's awesome. So we can have that in our quilt. Well, there you go. There's one of those tumbling boxes, I think they call it. It's a bit tight on that side with that, but that's okay. When it comes to cutting it out, that's cool. And I think we'll pinch you over here while we're at it. There might be a better way of getting maximum out of this because I'm a bit under pressure with you guys sitting here watching me. But I'm thinking it's not too bad. All right. You know what, I've just had a thought. If I iron this on, I'm going to lose my hexagons because this is an iron-on pen. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I might even change that to calico too. I don't know. It was just something I grabbed when I first walked into the room this morning. It said, Gosling quilt, here I come. So I might rethink that and actually just put it onto a calico, which would probably be even more sturdy. But anyway, I just saw it there and I thought, oh, give it a go. But I think I'm rejecting it. Now, under here is the other one. Let's have a look at you. Oh, they're slightly bigger scale. So, can we go big hexagon? No, can't get that in. No, little hexagons. They would be cute. Oh, I don't mind that. That would give us a little bit of floral, some leaves. Just going to go around you. Bonjour is getting chopped. Just some leaf. I do like you. I think they're worth investigating further. So I guess the next thing I want to do is pick up some threads probably overthinking this a little, because when you glance at a massive quilt, is it going to be massive? Probably a lap quilt. You won't notice that that's sitting higher than that in my little placement. Can we get a diamond? Yes, we can. Let's do some different shapes. See, in my head that works. We might sneak another one up here that's a little bit off kilter. Like that. Let's get you. I was wondering what I was going to do with these panels. I wish I had some more of the bunny ones left, but looking at Bunny and his chest, the pieces are huge. So maybe I don't need it. What about a triangle for you? It's really filling the triangle. It might look a bit like the idea of this. Another hexagon. I think it's going to be another hexagon. I'd love to capture those. What is this shape for? Oh my goodness. What do I do with all these shapes? Oh, this is going to be hilarious. Go to the big layout and look for similar shape. And where does it sit? it's not obvious. Gosh, it just looks like lots of shapes. Oh, okay. Gosh. So there's a potential. Be nice to use him, but it's just not quite right. All right. I think I'm going to do this one. I like the idea of having the bigger shape for some of them. It's not just little guys. So we end up getting 3 of these big guys and 3 little. Oh, okay, we can get another one here. So when you don't have doilies, you just have to create your own little stitcheries. Be interesting to see in my journey along for this quilt if I do find some. Like I said, it'll be the colours that will be my undoing because they're not primaries. There's a tone about them. I might be able to work this in somewhere on the quilt, maybe on the back of the quilt or something, who knows. So that's the plan for embroideries, create my own. Interesting additional elements, and then my fabric. So what I want to do next is put some threads together for this. So I've got my containers of blue and red, and I've also got my DMC cottons as well. But I want to go through these first because I really enjoy working with pearl cotton number 8. That's a pretty good blue. Where's that darker blue fabric? This guy, this luccello. Yeah, I like that. That works. So I think I've found blue. Do I need to go any further? How fancy are these flowers going to be? Not too fancy. Maybe I do little blue panels and little red panels, or do I do a mixture of the two? So I think we've got a blue. Let's have a look through the reds. It's a bit of a burnt red. I don't think there's anything in there. Nope. Let's have a look through the cottons. I prefer not to use DMC, so I'm looking for any pearl cotton that might be wound on here. What's all this? They're all DMC. DMC. I could bring in a little bit of pale pink. I don't think there's anything here, guys. I'm going to have to go shopping. Oh, what a shame. All right. There we go. At the moment, they're the only colours I've got. You know, I'm liking the blue because I have a lot of red on the quilt already. When you reflect back to that pile, so some little blue embroideries through it might help bring a bit of this darker blue. Yeah, that's just a thought. Okay, I think that's what I was wanting to show you. Oh, last thing is I've got my tin, and I shouted myself one of these. I've got a normal size rotary cutter, but all the cool kids have one of these. I'm not sure if it's going to be the best brand, but it's the right size for cutting around these little shapes. So I've shouted myself a 18mm rotary cutting blade. So now I can get rid of that packaging because I've shown you that. I got that from Dewdrop In. I so need to get myself some more little clips because all the cool kids seem to use those when they're quilting. I've got myself a little packet of applique pins on hand. So a little bit of shopping needed. And this is just somewhere to put the bits and bobs. I hate the sound of that tin down there. So we might have to do something in there to decorate it, because that clinging and clanging is going to annoy me. All of my templates fit. Oh my goodness, look at them all. Seriously? Oh, I just know I've bitten off more than I can chew. I'll give it a go. The book fits in there, the clips, basically. That is my little stash. The only thing missing is scissors, but you know, they're always around. So that's my little pot for supplies whenever I want to do some quilting. And I've got my big pot of fabric sitting here beside me. And then of course some little hand stitchy projects that I can work on as well. I think that's it, guys. I'm going to say goodbye. That's the start of the project. Not sure when you'll see the next video, but yeah, it'll be foraging for more vintage fabrics. I do not need any more new ones. What else? Yeah, and I need to forage my stash because there's plenty here. I don't need any more new fabrics. Got plenty of laces to create my lacy blocks. And I'm pretty confident that once I get a feel for the style of the French General and the Luccello, that I might be able to do some additional blocks that I just draw myself and just embroider. So yeah, that's the plan. All right, guys, I'm going to love and leave yous. All the links to get the pattern will be below, and if you and some of the names of the fabrics I've used, I'll pop them there so you can just do a search for Luccello, French General. Yeah, just have a bit of a rummage. They've been producing fabrics for years, so I'd be pretty confident you can find something. So that's it. I shall see you when I see you. And from Henrik the Hare, he's coming in to say goodbye. Hey Henrik, see that piece there? So beautiful. I might even be able to find that panel, but yeah, no, it's too big. Hang on, I'm getting sidetracked again. Where's my templates? When in doubt, go to the templates. See, it's too big. The scale's too big. So it's all good. All right, Henrik, you're not going to lose your ear in the making of this quilt. Oh boy. See, even pieces like that, classic Corrine, can be stitched into to create some lacy bits. Yeah, let's do that. I shall find some doilies, draw some templates, and then stitch them down. Doily lacy bits. Oh my goodness. What have you done to me, Bec? All right, I'm going to say goodbye. Enough's enough. It's getting out of hand. I'll see you all when I see you again. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. I'm back. Okay, so when I finished the video, I prepped the new background. So I did decide not to use that stabilizing fabric, and I went to my cupboard and I just found some backing fabric. It's quite lightweight, so I don't think it'll be too bulky. Having said that, if you add a Sanderson fabric to one of these blocks, there's going to be a bit of bulk. So I'm happy enough now just to use something that I had in my stash. So I've cut 2 pieces to go on the back of those 2 embroidery panels. I was looking at Bonjour and I had an idea. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stitch that as well. So I've put a hoop with it. I've got some threads. At the moment, that's my color palette, and that is just a project that'll go together whenever I want to go traveling and things like that. So that's a little package ready to go. Now, I also went and dug out some calico that didn't have seeds in it. That other fabric was just fraught with trouble. So I tore myself a new piece. I traced a few more templates for future lace that I may come across. So at least I can now start with embroidering these pieces down. So once again, we've got ourselves a nice little task to take wherever. So that is ready. Now, I commented just a few minutes ago that this tin was clinging and clanging. Well, by the time I took everything to my cutting table, it just was, just kept going with the clinging and the clanging. So that seeded homespun, I've torn down a piece for the base and a piece for the lid. You can see what's coming, can't you? And I've also torn a piece that will go around the perimeter on the inside. Now these are a fraction bigger than what I need, because once you stitch, you will bring fabric in. So they should end up around roughly the right size. So now when I have my bits and bobs in there, it's not going to be a clangy mess of sound. It was just getting to me. So future project in addition, because what I was thinking is, as this quilt evolves, there's going to be scrappy bits of fabric. So I thought these panels could be future little stitcheries of, you know, bits and pieces, nearly a colour palette, a record of the quilt. And it'll also fix the clinging and the clanging. So this piece is the side, and I just run it around the tin to get myself a measurement. As you can see, it's slightly bigger than the tin itself, because this excess here and here will sit. Now I'll just open it again. That will sit in there, and then when this piece drops in, those edges will be all tucked in under. So the side panel is tucked in under the base panel. And then this top edge can just be turned down, and maybe a trim or something goes there to finish it. That's a whole nother project another day. So in addition to the Gosling quilt, we now have a project within the tin. And in the meantime, those little fabrics can sit in there. Gets rid of the noise issue for all me bits. So let's try that again. Much better. Gosh, even my pins turned upside down. They were rattling around in there, and I opened it up and there were little applique pins everywhere. Even that lid, that is so bodgy. I need something to tie around that. My little clips and my cutting knife. So there you go. All right, matches too, see? Yeah, it all works. It all is working. Oh, the instructions, let's not lose those. I just want everything in one spot, if you know what I mean. It's a beautiful Gosling quilt. All right, I promise this is it. I will leave you alone. I just wanted to show you some side projects that will accompany this quilt as well. All right, look after yourselves. See you in the next video. Bye.